doing it all.
She's doing it all. It's not about kind of the office siren.
Put away my
I
navy
think I
guys.
might swipe left on that.
Damn!
You know, what I think is really, really chic. Now it's going to be what I think is really rock and roll.
I don't know how to work this one. I feel like I'm going to get some backlashes.
Swipe right.
Hello and welcome to the Fra Radio podcast. I'm your host, Narani Funderscafe, and today we are joined by a very special guest. This episode is for all our wonderful students, all our retail lovers, and if you're a bit like me, all of our impulse buyers. Today we are dissecting fashion trends, what goes on behind the scenes, and who better to tell us that than one of our very own fashion and buying merch students. Today we are joined by the one and only Sabrina Taylor. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, anytime. So for the audience who doesn't know you, did you want to give like a brief intro to who you are and what you're about?
Absolutely. So I'm currently studying fashion buying and merchandising at Fra. I'm in my final year actually, and alongside that I'm also working as a sales associate at Oliver Bonus.
She's doing it all.
She
doing it all. So for the audience that doesn't know, me and Sabrina do actually go a little while back now.
We do.
Yeah, and if anyone knows her stuff, it is Sabrina. So, Sabrina, can you give us a little timeline of your best experience or your best lesson that you've learned in each place that you've been, just so the audience can get to know you a bit personally?
Absolutely. So I think in terms of where I started in fashion, it's been on the shop floor in retail at Oliver Bonus, and I think what I love most about it and what I've learned is about the customer. It's all about the customer. I love seeing what draws them inside a store. I love seeing what makes them tick, what makes them purchase a certain product over another. And yeah, it's just taught me a lot about fashion in general and the consumer.
It's made you a fashion lover.
It has, absolutely. And then when I decided to study buying and merchandising, I'm so happy I chose the Fra actually, because I feel as though the biggest thing I've learned here is that what you put in is what you get out. So the opportunities I've been given are insane, and that could include work experience at Karen Millen. I've also volunteered at London Fashion Week and done a lot of focus groups with Doc Martens and Joe Loves. The list goes on, and it's just been like thrilling to have that.
So before we go into today's episode of trends and everything surrounding that, I thought it would be nice to have a little background on buying and merchandising, because I feel like someone who is kind of looking into the industry but doesn't know what's going on, which is a place that most students are in when they apply and when they join us. So it would be nice for them to hear what buying and merching actually is, and if there are any differences between those two, because I do feel like they are where the trends sit and who decides that.
Absolutely. I think as well, for me, when I first was interested in buying and merch, I didn't really know the difference. And I think that's because they actually work really closely together in industry. But there is a difference. With buying, it's very much about trends, suppliers, and directing the creative vision for a range plan in a collection, if that makes sense. Whereas for merchandising, it's more data-led as opposed to creative. It's dealing with how much product you're bringing in and ordering, where the product is going to be, and when it's going to be there. So it's just basically around the same goal. It's making creative product commercial, but they have different roles to play within that.
And then you went on a little bit about range planning. Just for someone who doesn't know what range planning is, can you just give us like a quick one-liner for someone who doesn't know what that is?
Absolutely. So range planning is basically when a buyer decides what goes into the collection and how and why, at what price, and how it's going to merge to make something commercial. Like, it's not just about how it's going to look creatively, it's about, is the target customer going to be able to buy it? Are they going to be able to wear it with another top in the collection, for an example?
So I suppose in this process, there's a lot of cutting back and cutting forth. Like you'll change a lot of products in this process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they kind of, throughout a buying process, when they are creating a range plan, it starts with the initial concept of a range, then it moves on to doing some designs. So you'll look at trends. That could be, you could look at editorials, fashion shows, even streetwear and basic trends that are emerging. And then from that, you will design a collection, and then you'll start finding suppliers who can manufacture that. And they'll make samples. You'll obviously decide whether that's going to work or not. And it's about communicating with your suppliers constantly until you get it right. Then the next process is going to just be, okay, well, how much is this going to cost? How are we going to make this commercial? And then it's about marketing, putting it into stores, and selling to the customer.
Thank you so much for giving us a little wrap up of that. I thought it'd be nice, now that the audience is caught up with you, what buying and merch is, a little behind the scenes of what goes on in your processes. Now I was hoping we could get into a bit more of the nitty gritty. So how do trends come about? Like, how do they even emerge? Who emerges them? Who decides trends? The whole nitty gritty.
I love this. Trends are so interesting and they're really fun because they can emerge from pretty much anywhere. It's not just in the fashion magazines and on the runway. It could literally be where the economy's at. That can change the trends. That can bring new and emerging ideas. So I would say when a buyer looks into like what trends could be prominent in the next few years, they'll look at databases like WGSN and Edited. So these are actually databases that FRA offers. It will basically be a trend forecasting company who predicts what colors, silhouettes, shapes, styles, and influences are going to be creating trends. Then you'll have, Edited, and that gives you more figures and data to back up where consumers will be spending their money and what companies will be doing and performing better than others and why. So you'll look at that, but then you'll also look at streetwear. There's always going to be key signals of trends to come in the future by streetwear. Then you'll have also, just in terms of understanding where people are in the world, best way to do that is social media. You can see there are trends that have emerged from, they actually call it the trickle-up theory and the trickle-down theory that we learn. So the trickle-down theory is how fashion trends have always emerged. So that starts with a designer. Let's say Christian Dior comes out with a collection. That's going to filter through right down to M&S one day. That's kind of how a trend will emerge. But then you'll also get the trickle-up theory, which we're seeing a lot. And that's what I would say is how most of our trends these days are emerging. You'll have an influence on social media wearing, let's say baggier jeans, more streetwear. You might see the next year Louis Vuitton actually taking influence from that and designing it within their collections. So trends can be from anywhere, anyone, and at any time.
Would you say that there's sometimes more of a resurgence in either the trickle-up or trickle-down theory? Because I've definitely seen a lot more of like creator content and UGC and like all of these now kind of like friends that I've had, and they're like, no, content creation is like the way forward. That's a new career path. So would you say it takes it in terms of like which one is performing better?
I would say so. Yeah, definitely. I think designers are actually strengthening up a little bit more. They're becoming a lot more creative because they have been relying on content creators and influencers for quite a few years now. So I would say it's always an ebb and flow, constantly.
Right. So we spoke a little bit about range planning before, and you spoke about building a collection, kind of like the process with your suppliers, how back and forth it can be. But for someone who, again, isn't in the industry, can you explain like what goes into collection building? Because I don't think before, because I didn't know this before, but there's so much back and forth and people involved and things that have to get approved and then get disapproved later and you've got to change it. So for someone who doesn't understand collection building at all, can you break down kind of who's involved and what goes on?
I think you're really right. There's so many people involved just in creating one collection. I think it's important to note though that every company can look quite different depending on the size and the market they're in. But I've mainly seen behind the scenes of kind of mid to premium markets at a medium-sized company, like mid-size. Yeah. And their teams are kind of structured where you'll have the designers, the buyers, the merchandisers, then you'll have like marketing, for an example. And a collection will start by, I guess, the designers creating mood boards along with the buyers, and the merchandisers will be actually looking at figures from the previous collection to see what performed better and what didn't. So it's very collaborative, creating a range plan and a collection. So they're all gonna kind of come together to create a concept for a range. Then from there, you will have mock-up sketches from the designers. You're going to have buyers kind of tweaking that to fall in line with trends and commerciality, and also take what merchandisers have allocated for a budget. So there might be designs that would sell really well in a collection, but because of a budget, they might have to adapt that.
Cut that out.
Exactly. Yeah. Or just reinterpret it to make it more commercially viable, I guess. From there, you will have what they call a kind of tech pack. So it's to kind of show you the design, dimensions, the fit that they're after. They'll then send it to the suppliers, and the suppliers will come up with that design, send it back to them to basically be put in a fit session. So the word fit session, for those who don't know, it's basically you go into a room, the model will try on a sample, and the buyers will be there measuring along with a garment technologist to see that the fit's right. Once the fit's right and approved and you've got the right kind of fabric, the colors that you're after, it will then be ordered in the quantities it needs to be. Merchandisers will have a lot to do with that. And then it will be about marketing those, making sure it's in store at the right time or online. And yeah, I think I've seen it from the concept stage and then obviously been on a shop floor, seeing it in store and so the customer reaction. So it's a long process, but it's very collaborative and it can forever change.
We'll be back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
So now that we're caught up on trends, the behind the scenes of buying processes, who's involved, the audience is up to date, we can finally get to the nitty gritty of today's episode. Trends.
Yes.
So can you take us through, keep the audience with us, step by step on each trend that we're kind of expecting to see, the main ones in 2026?
Amazing. I'm actually going to kick this off with my personal favorite.
Of course, why not?
I'm really, really excited about. I want to quickly dive back into, I know the question you asked of how do we find trends and stuff. I think motion pictures, like major blockbuster movies, have a huge influence on trends. We saw with Barbie a few years ago how that influenced fashion so much. And we have a new Margot Robbie movie that is going to do the exact same in 2026, and it's Wuthering Heights. So
should do a run.
I know, I'm ready for that. So with that kind of motion picture, we're looking at literature, we're looking at something that's really theatrical, heavily romantic, and that's going to be seen through kind of the silhouettes we'll be looking at, fabrics, materials. So I'll give you a few examples. Lace. Lace is going to be huge. We saw it already in 25. It's here to stay, and it's only getting louder and bigger and reinterpreted. We're also going to be seeing sheer layers. Yes. So I'm really excited about that.
I'm excited too.
It's going to be good.
We've sent a couple of reels about this.
We definitely have. But also in terms of the silhouettes, empire waists, we're going to be having very voluminous skirts, even fit and flare dresses. So it's a bit different to how I think what we've seen so far in the last couple of years, which I think everyone's going to be ready for.
Because in 2025, we saw a lot of like workwear, smart casual. We definitely are still seeing a lot of that now. But would you say that these new silhouettes that are coming in is kind of a bit more individualistic?
Absolutely. Definitely more individualistic. And that would kind of lead on to the second trend we're seeing, which Pinterest dubbed as the glamourati aesthetic. Yes. And this, I would say, is the reinterpretation of your capsule workwear wardrobe that we saw last year. It's just a lot more dramatic. It's a lot more, I want to say bold, but also power dressing. It's about power dressing. It's not about kind of the office siren or like all those sort of TikTok trends. It's not going to be like that. It's very much inspired by bold 80s influences. So we're going to see shoulder pads, even emphasis on the shoulders when your shoulders are out, and chunky jewelry, loud, chunky statement pieces, which is quite exciting. And an emphasis on the waist is still going to be apparent. But yeah, it's going to be all about the power dressing, something a little bit more theatrical to your workwear, which is
because we also had the 2025 mob wife kind of aesthetic. We are going into that later.
Yes.
But the mob wife. So would you say this is 2026's version of that?
Absolutely, but bigger.
Oh wow.
I think
we're going bold.
We're going bold. We've been going bold for a while now. We've seen like that jazz aesthetic. We've seen sophistication, that being a huge focal point in aesthetics. But I think after such a neutral, seasonless year in 2025, we're wanting something a little bit more defined.
Right.
And with that aesthetic and with this trend emerging, it's also brilliant because it allows you to create a look that's rather personalized, with the kind of accessorizing that would go on in power dressing with jewelry. You can really make it your own. So the next trend, I think, ties back to this romantic appeal to that soft romantic, almost literature-inspired aesthetic. And we're going to be seeing that even in beauty. So I know Sabrina Carpenter did a recent campaign, and it was featured on Grazia. She looks so different. Like,
it's a little plot twist for us.
It's a huge plot twist. We're so used to seeing this loud showgirl makeup.
Yeah.
And now it's a bit more pared back. It kind of goes with the Wuthering Heights summer that we're going to be expecting. Very flushed cheeks, but not in a clean girl aesthetic way with the middle parting. It's going to be, kind of curled, voluminous hair with a natural flush, natural makeup.
It's a little rebrand for 2026 to keep an eye on.
Okay. Absolutely. So the idea is to look natural but dramatic at the same time, which is quite confusing. But
it'll be interesting to see how people take to that. Like, people put their own twists on it. Because I think that does link back to a lot of individualistic and personalisation that you were going on about earlier. So it'll be nice to see people taking their own spin on it, especially with like different cultures and religions coming up now. Like, everyone can take their own twist.
Definitely. I would say the next trend, this is definitely my hot take. It's not
a little Sabrina hot take.
I've heard one or two people mention it, but I'm really seeing the signs for a kind of rock and roll revival.
Yes.
We are seeing it. I mean, we got My Chemical Romance touring this year. So I think that's going to emerge. and just in general, like in terms of music, in terms of you'll have these kind of micro influences really picking up traction with that rock and roll aesthetic. I actually think we had this fixation on the word chic.
Yes, for a long time.
Year.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what I think is really, really chic. Now it's going to be what I think is really rock and roll.
I see that, especially on like a TikTok trend that could really blow up.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. It kind of plays into like that messy like idea that you don't have to be perfect. The whole vibe of 2026, I can really see that rock and roll.
And I think after the clean girl era, like
it's needed.
It's needed. This fashion's always like that. It's like a pendulum swing. You know, it's inevitable. So, but I'm excited to see, as you're saying, how that's going to be reimagined for the clean girl. And I think it's going to be like windswept, romantic aesthetic for that. But I think the overall defining trend for this next year is that it's very individualistic, trends in general, but especially this year. There's not going to be major macro trends that are going to be, you know, kind of rooting most ranges. I think we're going to have brands really knowing who their subculture is. Subcultures are everything. So I know obviously we've mentioned jewelry and how that's going to be quite bold. It's going to play into power dressing a lot. But I think in general we're going to be seeing just not only jewelry but hair accessories.
Yes, I see that.
Be in the forefront. We're seeing a lot of chainmail coming in. And when I did a bit more research on it, it's almost like an armor. People are saying subconsciously we're going to be seeing it as armor.
I like that take.
Yeah, we're in a very uncertain time in the world right now, and I think people do, you know, subconsciously get drawn to certain accessories for certain reasons, and I think chainmail is going to be huge. Longer necklaces as well.
We've seen that slowly. The chains are getting a bit.
They're getting longer. So I think anything that we've started seeing a slight shift in 25 is only going to get more dominant in 26.
Right, so now that we've got a wrap up on buying, the trends we can see in 2026, the behind the scenes processes, this audience now knows it all. Now that we're all on the same page, I thought it'd be a little bit interesting to break up this episode with a game. So we're going to play a game of swipe left or swipe right. And you're either going to swipe left to keep the 2025 trends in 2025, or you're going to swipe right to take them with you. Then we're going to have about 15 to 20 trends that we're going to go through.
Wow.
Are you willing to play?
I'm ready.
Game on.
I'm scared.
I did whip these up this morning, I must admit. For those who don't know, the Fashion Retail Academy does give you access to a lot of database. And this is kind of where I've grabbed all of these trends for. So if you are looking to join us as a student, all of these resources you will have access to, and you will be able to find these trends as well. Well, not these ones, but you know what I mean. Are we ready?
I am ready.
Trend number 1 from 2025 was the mid-length tank tops. Are we swiping left, swiping right?
So swiping right on that. Yeah.
She's taking that with her.
I'm like, whoop.
And then we've got athleisure staples. This was more like the casual wear.
Oh, that's such a difficult one. I think it's always going to be, I don't know. I'm going to swipe right.
Swipe right?
I feel like it's going to be there.
Okay.
Just maybe different.
Pleated skirts. This was mainly from like the tennis skirts that went viral.
I'm swiping left on that.
Ooh. This one, Kylie Jenner kind of made it a bit more viral than what it was. But the denim jorts.
Yeah. Left.
I'm left all the way. That was a side eye the second that was said. That was...
guys, no judgment. I just can't get out of that.
There are no from Sabrina.
No.
The powder pink colour palettes.
Oh, I'm swiping right.
You're taking that?
Yes, absolutely.
You actually kind of mentioned this already, but it came up in 2025, so don't hate on me. I'm just a messenger. The tulle and sheer materials.
Oh, swipe right.
Swipe right. The 90s plaid prints.
Swipe right, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought you'd say no to that one. The workwear becoming casual, so like blazers being a bit worn everywhere.
Oh yeah, swipe right.
Swipe right. I don't know how to word this one. Pre-warning. I feel like I'm going to get some backlash, but the granny core floral prints.
Actually, swipe right.
Really?
I think so.
Why are we swiping right? That was...
like 100%.
How are we wearing this though?
I feel like... Wait, are you meaning... Can you give me an example?
There were so many like satin dresses that went around and they all had
Yes.
that like same floral print on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. We're going ditzy.
Like Kath Kidson.
Yeah. Are we going ditzy?
Oh, ditzy, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's space.
Make way for Kath Kidson.
There
She's on her way
is.
back, guys.
It's like... it's going to be in. I just know.
Get in, Kath Kidson.
Get in, Kathy.
The navy colour palettes.
I mean...
I say that sitting in navy.
I'm really loving
Really?
it. I've always loved it.
She was about to swipe left.
Thing is, it was such a... I loved it in 25 so much.
Right.
And I want to love it in 26. But there's so much else out there. And I think...
Yeah, there's a lot of other options now.
Yeah.
Especially
I think
knowing
green
what's
is going to
coming.
be more.
Ooh,
and teal
yes.
is going to be bigger.
Especially that mixed with the sheer fabrics. I do see that. So I'll
think-
put away my navy,
I
guys.
might swipe left on that.
Damn! For the
No,
audience who is listening and not watching, I'm sitting here in full navy outfit.
It's only January.
I still have time to change, is what she's saying.
I love navy. Like, I have invested in navy recently. So I just think I'm ready to also buy into the greens more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll find a khaki jacket, don't worry. The peep toe shoes, mainly the peep toe heels.
I'm actually gonna swipe left on that.
Thank you.
She's been waiting for
Thank
that.
you. The one that we finally agree on. Winter layering.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely layering.
You're taking that with you?
Sheer layering and lace
That is
layering.
true.
Oh, swipe right, yeah.
Take that. The cheetah prints.
I think, swipe left.
Swipe left. We're done with the cheetah
I
prints.
think crocodile's gonna be in.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What, is in like tops? And like, how are we seeing crocodiles?
Crocodiles in terms of prints for accessories.
Ooh.
Basically, wherever we have seen an animal print come in, it's always reinterpreted. But I think
Crocs on our way back.
again, it's that like armor.
Yes,
It's just
that is very
stronger.
true.
It's
A bit more
durable,
bold.
bold.
I
Yeah.
see that. And then the bandeau dresses, this was more towards the end of the year. They kind of made a resurgence from the Kim Kardashian 2010 era.
Yes, I'm actually gonna swipe left on that.
Take it away.
Yeah.
Damn, Kim K's out.
Yeah.
Damn, I actually thought you were going to say swipe right to that.
I did too. There's so much, but I think like after what I've seen, I just think there's so much space for newness.
Yeah.
And we're bored. Like,
We need some fresh ideas. I get that.
Yeah.
2026 is the year for fresh ideas.
Oh,
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then we've got your favourite, skinny jeans.
Oh.
Are they swipe left or swipe
I
right?
knew you would do this.
Such a controversial take.
It depends what you mean by skinny jeans. I'm going to swipe left on like skinny jeans.
Okay.
But I'm swiping right on like a cigarette jean.
Okay, like a relaxed fit more
A
for
relaxed
those. Yeah.
fit. So, yeah, a relaxed fit. Nothing too crazy. We'll actually swipe right on that. I think we will see more. I just don't want...
You don't want to say yes and have it come back.
It's the biggest risk to say. Like,
She's not taking that risk,
no,
guys.
I just think what I've seen a lot of people do is tuck their jeans into their boots as opposed to over.
That is very true.
And I think they've done it with no matter if it, what fit.
Especially in autumn, we had that kind of, it wasn't a trend, but a resurgence in that question wear. So I was like, we definitely saw a lot. I think that did push skinny jeans at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex girl.
I don't know how you're going to feel about this because we've actually never spoken about this before. But ripped wide leg jeans. They were kind of coming in more towards like September time, so not pre-autumn, and this was like when back to school was kind of a thing, and there was so like you go into Asda, Tesco's, that's all you'd see.
Yeah, no. Swipe left. I think wide legs still gonna be a thing. I just don't think
not the ripped.
No.
They're taking a step back.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we've got pinstripes.
Oh yes, swipe right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I did one right thing with my
you
pinstripe
did.
nose strap. Halfway there to the problem.
Well done.
Got one final one just to close off this trends, the little trend game that we've got. Large florals, particularly in summer dresses. This was more so towards the maxi dresses, like evening dresses.
Swipe right.
Swipe right. We're taking that with.
Definitely. I
suppose
think we're going to be seeing like column dresses.
Yes.
Like voluminous dresses, and then to have like big, loud floral prints over.
Ooh.
I can see it. I really
layer
can.
it all on.
Yeah.
So I can bring out my chill skirt. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. I did one right decision for my wardrobe. So that does wrap up today's session on trends and everything you need to know about trends, the behind the scenes processes that goes into making these trends and making them commercially viable. I thought today, to wrap up today's session, we could just go into what trends students could consider that would work all year round, because we don't have the money nowadays to be spending on 4 different wardrobes for 4 different seasons. So what are the top 2 trends that students can consider when they're picking out their wardrobes?
I love this. First off, jewelry.
Ooh.
It's so much more affordable than a whole new outfit, but it can take something really basic and just elevate it. And chunky, big jewelry, gold jewelry, it's here to stay. So
and we mentioned this on a call the other day, a little off record for the audience, but you said a lot about brooches. Brooches making a comeback.
Huge comeback.
I can see that a lot with what you were saying.
And brooches aren't going to be used how they traditionally are meant for. We are going to be seeing brooches pinned in hair, brooches pinned on your bags.
Yes.
Just on like a blazer collar for no reason. It's just for the purpose of adding more personality, customization, and interest to a somewhat basic outfit and making it your own. Yeah. I think in terms of like silhouettes and structures, I would say having a trench coat. I think trenches, they're a classic. Also, it's effortless. And we've seen so many brands do it. So I think in terms of being able to have a piece that's versatile all seasons, a trench is your best friend.
And I've seen a lot with, especially last year, the belted trenches. You can wear those so many different ways.
Right.
Like you can style them back and forth. And
Absolutely.
it's just an easier win, I suppose.
So I would say those
are your 2 trends you're taking to the whole of 2026.
Come on, yes.
And then finally, I thought it'd be cool to do, from your perspective as a buying student, on what one trend that new entrepreneurs or students looking to start a business could consider that would result in like a quick fire launch.
Customization. 100%. Being able to have a product that is versatile, that can be styled multiple ways or used multiple ways and can fit around the customer's needs. So that could be if it's accessories or even if it's an item that can be adaptable. Yeah. So adaptable clothing is huge as well.
So thank you so much for joining the Fra Radio podcast. That was our guest, Sabrina Rose Taylor. Feel free to search her up on LinkedIn as one of our buying and merchandising students here at the Fashion Retail Academy. As always, if you have any more suggestions on what you would like to hear on the Fra Radio podcast, feel free to reach out to us on our Instagram. That's all for now. See you on the next episode.